Football is a beautiful game, and we all love it, but it has one undeniable flaw: scrutiny. Players' mistakes are harshly criticized by the media and fans, which puts a lot of pressure on them. While it's not always a bad thing, excessive nitpicking, even over minor errors, does more harm than good. In fact, footballers and managers are often held to a higher standard than politicians. This relentless scrutiny has created a high-pressure environment for players, leading to unpleasant results for us all. Because we've all seen it: the penalty shootout, the crucial last-minute shot, the game-winning free kick, and a player capable of brilliance falters under pressure and fails to perform at their usual level. These moments are not just about skill, they're deeply rooted in psychology. Football is as much a mental game as it is physical. The fear, stress, and doubt players experience are amplified when the stakes are high. Even the most talented athletes aren't immune to these pressures. We saw it with Messi when he failed to convert his penalty in the 2016 Copa America final, leading to tears and harsh treatment from fans.
Second he steps on a field without that core is average.
Which got to him and made him quit the national team. Again with Tchouaméni and Coman's missed penalties, which garnered them a lot of racist abuse from French fans. Even Higuain faced the same criticism after missing several chances in the 2014 World Cup final. In fact, most players might find it easier to score during open play than to convert their spot kick during a shootout. Why? Because of the immense pressure we put on them to deliver no matter what. This pressure affects their mental conditioning, causing them to choke and make even bigger mistakes than they otherwise would. Though this may not happen to every player, it happens to most of them. To understand why, we have to explore the science of the brain. At its core, choking is the result of pressure overwhelming a player's ability to execute skills they've mastered. It's not merely a bad performance, it's a mental phenomenon rooted in our brain's response to stress. It usually stems from external sources like fans, teammates, coaches, and the media, as well as internal expectations, which all together combine to create a storm of anxiety. For instance, when a striker steps up for a decisive penalty in a World Cup final to keep their nation in the competition, they carry the hopes of millions. Normally, athletes rely on muscle memory, honed through thousands of hours of practice. But under extreme pressure, the immense weight of such a situation can trigger an overactivation of the brain's prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for conscious thought and decision-making. This heightened activity interferes with the motor skills stored in the basal ganglia. When this happens, players tend to overthink their actions rather than relying on muscle memory, disrupting their natural flow and precision. Football, being a sport that thrives on instinct and split-second decisions, is especially vulnerable to this. Players who begin to overanalyze their movements, such as the angle of their shot or the goalkeeper's position during a penalty, disrupt their usual automatic processes. This shift makes performing skilled actions, like scoring a penalty, which is usually controlled by the subconscious mind, shift to the conscious mind. This leads to overthinking simple tasks and drifting their focus to other things, such as pondering previous failures by other players, the consequences of missing, or how they will be judged. As a result, they take their minds off the most important thing: the target. In other words, their minds try to be in control of what is going on around them, but it becomes overwhelming to process everything all at once, leading to errors in judgment. Their prefrontal cortex tries to force them to perform in a way it believes will increase their chances of success, but it ends up making things worse. They become more anxious, more nervous, and ultimately respond negatively to this loss of control. When playing with instinct, they don't have to overthink every step they take. In fact, people don't actually need to be in control to perform better. They simply need to believe that they are. Anyway, back to football. This overthinking causes players to do things like clearing the ball when they could have passed to an open teammate for a tactical play. They become more hesitant to shoot when they would have taken the shot in normal circumstances, often leading to failure. Psychologists call this paralysis by analysis. The body freezes because the mind is too focused on the outcome rather than the action itself. The fear of failing is another significant factor. Since footballers operate in an environment where mistakes are harshly criticized and their reputations are on the line, The fear of letting down teammates or even tarnishing their legacy can create immense psychological strain. One mistake can lead to harsh criticism from fans and the media. This fear activates the body's stress response, particularly the brain's amygdala, the part responsible for processing threats, making players react as if they're facing danger. In critical moments, this fear of letting others down or damaging their legacy often overrides their confidence. It triggers the release of stress hormones, adrenaline and cortisol, which flood the system, increasing heart rate and muscle tension. While a bit of stress can enhance focus, excessive levels lead to physical symptoms like muscle tension, stiff movements, poor coordination, and even shaky legs, all of which impair performance. And this, by the way, isn't limited to players. I'm sure you've all felt it before because it happens to fans too. I, for one, remember feeling the pressure during the penalty shootout in the 2022 World Cup final. My whole body was tense, my heart was racing, and I even lost my appetite, all because I didn't want my team to lose. Yet the success of the team didn't depend on me at any point, as I was seated in the comfort of my couch. Now, I can't imagine what the players were going through, standing on the pitch under the weight of millions of expectations. They must have felt their hearts pounding through their chests, their legs extremely heavy, and their breathing uneven, making even simple tasks, like striking a ball, feel impossible. Another contributing factor is ego depletion. This theory suggests that high-stress situations drain mental energy, leaving players less able to focus and perform. If a player spends significant energy managing emotions like anxiety or fear throughout the game, by the time they face a crucial moment, their mental reserves may be too depleted to focus. Now imagine all this happening in front of 60,000 fans, or millions watching on TV. This external pressure amplifies the psychological burden, and if it happens in an away game, the effect is exacerbated. In fact, research shows that players are more likely to miss penalties in front of hostile crowds because their focus shifts from execution to external noise. However, not all players succumb to pressure. Mental conditioning plays a crucial role in separating those who choke from those who thrive. Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the best examples. Renowned for his ability to perform in clutch moments, he has maintained his composure countless times in high-pressure situations, and this partly stems from his relentless mental preparation. Elite players train not just their bodies, but their minds. They visualize themselves succeeding in high-stakes moments, which helps them stay present during critical points in the game. By simulating pressure in training, they build resilience to perform when it matters most. By the way, studies show that players with high emotional stability are better equipped to handle stress, while those with neurotic tendencies are more prone to choking. Similarly, extroverts, who thrive in social and high-pressure environments, may also perform better than introverts in such situations. In the end, the ability to stay calm, trust instincts, and focus in high-stakes moments is what separates great players from the rest. Because, like I said earlier, football isn't just about skill or talent, it's a battle of the mind. So the next time you see a player miss a penalty or falter under pressure, remember, they're not just fighting their opponents, they're battling their own minds.